Easy crew, back once again with another video. And today, guys, I'm going to do a little video to kind of explain about the Amiga, because a few of you guys getting confused, and I know I've just been uploading my workflow videos recently and I've not really been talking much on them, because when I'm working, I don't really talk much. I just focus on what I'm doing. But at the same time, I wanted to have a little interlude video, which is this one, to just explain the Amiga and like what the theory is behind all of the trackers and stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, my name is Busy Bee. I'm one of the pioneers of early drum and bass, and I used to make music on a Commodore Amiga when all this first started out. The Commodore Amiga is real close to my heart. I love working on this machine. It does have a really good workflow, and it's not the same as working on a normal DAW. It's not the same as working on Renoise. It has a different feel to it. There's zero latency when you're working. And for those of you who use trackers, this needs no introduction. You could see the whole theory behind it and what it's all about. So today I'm just going to talk you through it and just show you what it's all about. So when you look at the screen, you're not confused as to what's going on. This is OCTAMED. Classic sequencer. This came free on the front cover of a magazine. I can't remember what it's called. Amiga format. Comment down below if you guys remember this. But anyway, back in the day there weren't a lot of funds about, and Commodore Amiga opened the doors for sampling for many people. This machine started off at about £300, and it was a game changer. 8-bit quality. That was enough to mess about with at home and do your thing. And it also crossed over, onto the mainstream. People doing music solely for the Amiga, into the jungle scene. Big up man like Moulder Dipper, big up the man like Aphrodite, and there's many, many more. Comment down below if you know any old-time Amiga producers that use this software. Now, this is OCTAMED version 5. They also made a version 6. They also made a version 4. Version 4 was the most popular one. And I'm going to give you a tour of version 5 because I'm kind of like more practiced on that since way back in the day. But I can use 4 as well. It's obviously passed through the different versions. Okay, so let's talk about this sequencer, what it does. So without putting any samples in for now, this is where you play your song. Obviously, most of this is written. You play your block. Now, a block is a sequence of samples that you put together. You've got a little edit here that you turn on. As you turn on the edit and you put your notes in, the notes will play like a sample or whatever it is you've got. So for example, if I go to instrument parameters, you've got all your usual instrument parameters here. You've got your transpose, you've got your fine transpose. You can change the MIDI channel. When I say change the MIDI channel, if you want to turn this into a MIDI instrument and send MIDI out to your sampler, you do it via just turning this on and off here. And it will give you up to 16 channels out. Again, this is the MIDI presets. MIDI to change sounds on a MIDI instrument, you can just change the preset and it will receive control change messages, which will allow you to change the sound of your module, for example, like a JV 1080 or whatever that's got lots of sounds, to save you getting up and flicking through the sounds. So I'm going to stick to the basics, guys, for now. You've got edit sample, and here, let me just get a sample loaded to give you guys an example. So you've got all your menus as usual. You can right click with the mouse, and in here I've got my Amiga library kind of organized as best as I can. It's all this is stored onto a compact flash. If you just buy a Amiga, you can actually buy a compact flash card reader that you stick into the side, and that will allow you to save stuff on there. But you can also, because this beautiful thing about this machine is it takes IDE, and you can buy an IDE to compact flash converter, and then you can put a compact flash card in there, possibly even an SD, but I'm going to stick to what I know, and that's the compact flash. And you can load this up so that it boots up with all the software, kind of boots up like your Windows if you like, but it boots into Kickstart Windows Workbench. That's it. So let me just call up some samples here. and I'm gonna just go for loading an instrument. It says instrument, but it's not actually an instrument. It's gonna be a sample. So I go to my sound library, and why not? We load an Amen breakup. Right. So as you do that now your sample will play. Now bear with me. I'm just gonna switch my mixer on, which is something I should have done ages ago, before the video, but no, never mind about that. Okay, so now, I just want to make sure that's coming through, okay, loud and clear. Right, so there you go. So I now can play that instrument, and my keyboard, my computer keyboard, suddenly becomes a built, like a MIDI keyboard, if you like, but not MIDI, but like, you know, my computer becomes a playing keyboard. So I can then just play, you know, QWERTY, etc., and it will play the sounds. So this is great. So I bought a budget machine years ago, £300. Now I've got a keyboard that I can use. Sorry, dog freaked me out there. Now I've got a keyboard that I can use, right, to play music on, right? So then, if you then hold down the shift key and then write, you can see there that it will flick to instrument number 2, and then you can then load another sample in again, and that sample can be, you know, sound or something, like here, instruments. I've got some instruments here. Now I'm just going to find something, anything will do. What's that? Cyberistab. Okay, let's have a look at that. So now we've got a dark sound. So that was what we used to do. Now, the Amiga has 2 audio channels. That's it. I mean, there's no outputs for the Amiga. I know there were some old sound cards on some of the bigger Amigas, and it had outputs, but you know, as a general rule, we just used to use 2 outputs, output left and output right, for the Commodore Amiga, and that's all you get. Now on OCTAMED, you get 4 tracks, 4 audio tracks, and they don't overlay, and if they're in the same lane. So these lanes are tracks. So when you see all this matrix, don't get confused. Yeah, just see this part of it, which is the tracks. These are tracks, and as it plays, it scrolls down. So for example, if I was to play this in, hello. So if I was to play that in now, right, that would be the scroll. So as it scrolls, it will play. Right now, obviously that tempo is not correct, but it's correct for what I've just played. So I could go back now. Let's say, for example, I go back to the Amen. Now these bits here mute the tracks. You can mute all the tracks. Past 4 tracks, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5th track onwards would be MIDI. Now you would have, as standard, every block is 4 track. Now you can go to your properties of your block, and you could set as many tracks as, you know, the computer can handle. But just remember, past 3 tracks, sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3. On the 4th track, that's going to be MIDI only. Yeah, so if you've got samplers and stuff, it's best to chuck all of your sample tracks on the MIDI section, right? And you can set the length of the block, but we're not going to go into that. We keep it real simple for now. Okay, next is the tempo of the song. So your tempo of your song is adjusted by here. Now you've got a couple options. You can make it BPM, and you can turn this to 156 if you like. So for example, let's see how that works out. Now back in the day, I never used to use oi, get out of that bag, you cheeky bugger. Dog's digging down the bag, eh? Look, see, he's just got shopping. The dog's digging down the bag. Naughty. You better give me a cuddle. Stop it. Right, 158. Right, so let's take this to like 160 now. See, we keep it real. Where we got toilets flushing in the background while we're trying to record. Yeah, we got dogs digging down the bin. You know what I mean? This is a real. We keep it real here. You know what I mean? Okay, so let me just try and find a break. What's this happy break now? Word. Okay, so we've got a nice little sample, nice little dance sample. And if you go to, sorry, I'm racing ahead here. And if you go to edit sample now, you can do all your editing like what you can do on any sampling.